Hello, friends, and welcome back. I'm excited to be here with not only my friends and colleagues, but some really amazing technical folks. So why don't we start with you, Nabila, introduce yourself, and then Nitya, we'll go with you.
Awesome. It's wonderful to be here, Seth. I'm a product manager on the AI platform team. I lead a product called Azure AI Studio. And what we do is we enable developers to build generative AI applications.
And it's like all the cool stuff that I get to show off and keynotes and stuff, that's her product. And so I'm super glad you're here. Nitya, how about you?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Seth. My name is Nitya Narasimhan. I'm a senior AI advocate on the developer relations team at Microsoft. And I work with you, Nabila. I like to think of myself as developer zero for their platform. I'm such a huge fan. And so my job is to sit between product teams and community and advocate for the product to the community, advocate for the community to the product teams.
That's amazing. So let's start with you, Azure AI Studio. Tell us about the product itself, but more importantly, because we're talking about careers in AI, tell us about managing a product in AI. So let's start with AI Studio and then managing a product in AI.
Awesome. So the way AI Studio helps developers is we help them get access to the latest models. And you can see how fast-paced that is these days as well.
Yes.
It's pretty much overnight you have to drop them. It's like dropping a new album, for example.
Yeah.
The second way we do it is now that you have these models, you want to do something with them, right? So you need tooling to be able to help you build applications. The third way is then adding safety and responsibility into your applications, and then also scaling, doing it in a way where you can collaborate with your peers, you can build off of each other's assets, and so on. So those are kind of the four pillars the product is shaped around. In terms of what it's like to manage a product in AI, I think if you asked me that maybe a year ago, my answer would, or maybe 2 years ago, my answer would have been very different. Now it's pretty interesting from the sense that I think the two things that I probably struggle with the most are the pace and the lack of best practices. And what's interesting is it's not just best practices about leading a product, it's also best practices about how to build a product and as well as how to use that product. All of those are lacking. So learning to address that is actually pretty difficult.
And that's interesting that you bring that, because it is such a fast-paced world. How do you, as a product leader, corral that uncertainty? I'm putting you on the spot here, but like I kind of want to know, like what advice do you have for me? Let's just say I want to build an AI product, or the audience does. What advice do you have for them?
It's simple, Seth. First, put your ego aside. No one knows what they're doing. Like no one knows it. No one has it together.
She knows me really well, actually. No one knows what they're. Yeah, go ahead.
So we put our ego aside. I think the things that have helped me the most is, one, just getting hands-on with the product, learning it, learning what competitors are doing, and just being really hands-on. This isn't something that you can just go ask a customer, hey, how do I do X? How do I do Y? You really have to get hands-on with it, learn yourself, and continuously measure and evolve and go from there.
That's amazing. So talking about measuring and evolving, Nitya, you're like customer zero. Tell us about like the space that you work in, because there's a lot of careers in AI, and yours is kind of a special one in my heart, because I'm kind of a DevRel guy too, right? So tell us about what you do, and what are some things that you're learning as you go?
Oh, yeah, excellent. This is actually a great time to be an advocate in AI. I'm just telling you, if you're looking for a career.
It's true.
And it's because I think as a developer advocate, what we're really doing is advocating for the product to the community and likewise. And so the challenge right now, as she was saying, is the pace is so hard that everyone's struggling to keep up. So what do you teach them? The second challenge we have is our audience is developers, and traditionally developers were people who coded. But with generative AI, we've broken open. All you need to know is how to write a prompt, and that's opened the world to so many people who are not traditional developers, but they have ideas they want to build. So it could be entrepreneurs, it could be students, it could be professional developers, low-code developers. And so when I think about advocacy, what I really think the challenge for us is how do we make all these products feel accessible to all these audiences? And then from the perspective of the product group, right, we're developer zero. So our job is to go to them and say, they're going to get confused with this. And I have to give a shout out to the Azure AI Studio team. We gave them feedback. They turned it around in 24 hours, and it's there right now. So I'm like, and I think that's actually the most powerful thing for us, is how do we make sure that people coming to the platform can see in it a tool to build their ideas?
And I love how you're saying like they can see themselves in it. what is your role in getting people to see themselves in it? Because you are basically their face, but your face for us. Product, like, explain it. I'm explaining it badly.
All right.
Help me.
Okay, so when I think about developer relations, right, you can think of it as three things: as content, community, and feedback, right? So product feedback is the easiest one. We're developer zero. When you build something, you're like, throw it over the wall and say, tell us what that looks like, and we're like, oh, and we come to you. But then the content part is, it could be documentation, it could be writing samples, it could be going and doing talks, right? We want to tell you stories so that this does not look challenging to you. And finally, samples, and I have to give a shout out to Cassie and your team, Contoso Chat for the win.
She's great.
Show up for the labs people and for her talk. But I think that those kind of samples fill a very necessary gap in the ecosystem, because we're all hearing tools and we all know one building block at a time.
Right.
But putting them together to build a solution that can go in an enterprise context is hard. And so these samples, building them, learning how to like take them out in workshops, that kind of stuff is hard. And so developer relations, I'm going to put the emphasis on relations, right? How do you communicate to developers in a way that you speak their language? And now the second part today with AI, of course, is who is your developer? And it's everyone.
And I love that, like, because obviously a career in AI is fairly nebulous, and you've both talked about communications, but from very different axes, right? You're looking at it from the product perspective, and you're looking at it from the person using it. Tell us, for those that are looking for a career in AI, what principles do you think they should follow now to get into, for example, the product space? And then we'll get to you.
I think for me, the principles start with, we were actually just talking about this right before this, is knowing your foundation. I think as an, and you don't have to have an engineering degree. I think with just knowing how to problem solve and getting your hands dirty with even just like opening things up and learning how to fix something is something that's very accessible to anyone. So I think one thing is problem solving is probably at the base of most of the things, for me at least, that helps me address challenges. And those challenges can be people, technology, it can be anything in product, right? Customer challenges as well. So I think one, just being okay with problem solving and then continuously making yourself uncomfortable. I think what I usually do is I start with something that I know and I start doing it well, but it's usually something small, right? And that gives me a little bit of confidence. But I don't stay in that position for a very long time. Then I kind of chase that aspect of being very uncomfortable, and I continue to chase it. And as you start kind of looking at your journey, you'll realize that the things that made you uncomfortable a few months ago or for a few years ago, they're not the same anymore.
That's true.
And you grow over time. But I think you need to continuously chase that uncomfortableness, and you'll grow. And I think that one thing someone told me is a thing where you spend your most time in are the things that you think a lot about. And that's something that's always in the back of my mind when I'm working on product, when I'm working in AI, where am I spending most of my time in? And at this point, I think it's learning. A lot of learning and being okay with not knowing anything and trying as well.
Yeah, I mean, we work together. Like, I'm not making this up. I think I've always told you I want to be wrong as fast as possible, right? Which is really cool. Nitya, tell us about like getting the message out, working on it, because the challenges you work on are actually very technical, because you're actually writing code on top of product. Tell us about people wanting to aspire to do what you're doing. Yeah,
so I'm going to call it, my advice to my younger self. Like, what I wish I'd known, right? I actually have 3 things that I wish I had known. I think the very first one, and I'm going to follow up on what Nabila said, because I think it's very important. The first thing is challenge yourself, because if everything else fails, you'll have learned something, right? If you fail, like, make failure, like, I actually said to someone that we should schedule failures. Pick something that you can fail in and then write about it, right?
I failed like 7 times.
Exactly. And then you can check it off. It's like, I checked off for the day. But I think that what I meant is pick something that and uncomfortable is great, but a challenge, because challenges make you learn. The second thing, and I cannot stress this, is work with good people. And there are 2 kinds of people that will help you grow. The first is where they're learning from you. And when you're trying to explain to someone, and I'm going to give a shout out to my 15-year-old who questions everything. When you have to explain to them, it clarifies to you what you didn't know.
And what's the second type of person?
The second type is the person you will learn from. Folks like you, right? Who are like, you throw stuff across the wall and say, go try it out. And because we have to go and try this out, we learn. And then the last bit of advice is share what you've done and do open source stuff. Right now, you need to build up credibility. Go work in open source. Write about it. We'll see you. And
that's amazing. And speaking of being uncomfortable, we have a call to action for some stuff that you've put together. Tell us about this studio collection. You have about 10 seconds. Go to aka.ms, AI Studio Collection. What's in there?
Oh, excellent. It's actually for both of us, because this is a collection of code first. If you want to get into AI Studio and build end-to-end applications, code first. It's a blog post, a bunch of open source samples, documentation for Azure AI Studio, all in one place, and we will keep that up to date.
That is amazing. So people should go there and learn stuff,
People should go there.
Well, thank you so much. And again, I love working with you all. Thank you so much for being with us. And again, thank you so much. We've been learning so much about careers in AI with Nabila and Nitya. Thank you.